What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another From Screen to Shelf review. As you can tell from the thumbnail, today we are going to be talking about Kung Fu Panda on 4K. Let's tap in and find out how I feel. Alright, everybody, I am perfectly fresh off of just wrapping and finishing this up. As of this literal second, I just took it out, put it in the box, came over here, so these are very, very fresh thoughts. But I did just finish Kung Fu Panda on 4K. That did just come out the week of this review dropping, and I am here to just have nothing but positive things to say. We'll go ahead and just get that out of the way. So if that's all you cared about, you can go ahead and tune right out. It's a great release, right? So we're gonna go ahead, cover, I'll go and show this slip. That right there is a bit, how do you say that, debossed? It's like raised up. And then that's going to be the back of it right there. We're going to go over the special features. I watched most of them. Some of them, as you'll find out, I probably really just didn't watch, and you'll find out why. Just no reason to watch them. And just the movie itself and the transfer and the sound quality. So the movie itself. I've actually only ever seen this movie once. I went and saw it in theaters way back whenever it came out, and I loved it. I remembered it almost tit for tat while watching it. It's surprising how much I remembered of this movie. I remember absolutely loving it, and I've never seen Kung Fu Panda, and I haven't seen the new Kung Fu Panda 3, so I've only seen this one and the second one. But they're great movies, stellar family-friendly movies from front to back. A great villain, and what's his name, like Lu Tong, the tiger. I'm horrible with characters' names. Great characters from the other Kung Fu fighters to Po to everybody to even his dad. His dad's great. The animation style of this is very, very fluid. It was very, very good. To the ruffle, or like the fur on Po looked phenomenal. Now some of them, I haven't done really quite that many, if at all, an animation review. But the thing is like whenever it does come to like the 4K presentation, I got to go ahead while I'm thinking of this scene. Like there's certain aspects where like the very, very fine details don't age that well. Like the little like dough balls that they eat and stuff like that. There's one and then with like noodles and stuff. And it just kind of stuck out how jarring that looked really off while the rest of it looked really, really good for a almost, how old is that at this point? 15, 16-year-old movie at this point. But otherwise, the movie's great. It's phenomenal. It's up there. It's an all-time classic. It's an 8.5 out of 10, probably a 9. I had a lot of fun with it. It's a really, 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 really good movie. Now, for the 4K presentation, as I was already dibbling and dabbling on, the 4K itself really does bring a lot to the table. Now, of course, animation, we're not going to get pore on faces or in this curve, fur on skin and stuff like that, but it still does bring an added layer of depth to the experience versus what you can get even on the Blu-ray that's included here. But as I like to say, because animation is one of my favorite things on the entire platform, and the thing I like to say is animation is perfect for 4K, not for just the resolution itself. Yes, it does bring up details a tiny bit to a massive amount depending on what you're talking about, but because of the HDR and the extra color palettes. From shading to lighting to everything to just the black on Po's fur, everything along those lines, you really, really can't go wrong in any way, shape, or form with what you're looking at. So absolutely stellar. Some of the darker scenes, like whenever the main tiger or like the bad guy is like breaking out of like his prison and it's super dark, grayscale almost, and everything like that, it looks absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely perfect in every way. Now, based on what my player read, this doesn't have Dolby Vision. It's just standard HDR, which is fine, right? Not everything needs Dolby Vision. It's cool to have, but it's not a necessity. As long as you get HDR, there's no issue in my book, right? Now, for the audio is really what got me going. I do have a 7.1 setup, and my gosh, this is one of the best sound, it just tracks I've ever heard. To reference that like Prison Break scene again, whenever he bursts out from like the whooshes to the thuds to the highs to the lows and the mids to everything, every single second of sound design in this has so much care, attention to detail, and everything. If you've got a really good, mine's pretty okay. I'm not even going to toot its own horn or anything like that. Mine's okay. It definitely needs some upgrading to be up there and have a great time. But for what I have and everything, absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So for people with like the best of the best types of sound setups, this is absolutely perfect to have like an in-home theater experience with the family, with the kids, with friends, anything. Because a lot of people of all ages really love Kung Fu Panda. It's a great time. It's very funny. It's goofy. It doesn't really take itself too seriously, even though it has a serious underplot. It's just very necessary for your collection. The sound design is a perfect 10 out of 10. The video quality in this is a 9 out of 10. This is damn near a complete package, right? There were just absolutely so many scenes where I was just engulfed in the way that the HDR was carrying certain scenes along with the sound design. Like the part where Poe and the master, and they're like using chopsticks to get like a little dough ball and they're going back and forth. The way that that's whooshing and like some part, or whenever they're like thudding a little bit and stuff like that, it just sounds spectacular. I don't have enough good and great things to say about that. It's absolutely flawless how they got this sound design to be as good as it is, right? So now, for the special features, I did watch most of them, not all of them, and again, you'll find out why. There's just some I just really don't need to really be watching or have any interest in. So the main one is Secrets of the Scroll, which is essentially how they become the legendary Furious Five warriors, how Tigers, Viper, Monkey, Crane, and Mantis become that. And it was fun. It was cool. It's got a really unique art style. Definitely check that out. It was really cool. Not necessarily like it, it advertises it right here. It's not necessarily like, oh, I need that for that short film. But it's cool. It's cool that it's on there. And all the bonus features are on the 4K disc. And I don't think it hinders it in any way because it's a fantastic presentation. Now, the rest of them, Meet the Cast. That's kind of your typical behind the scenes. Oh, here's Jack Black, here's Dustin Hoffman, and stuff like that. Doing their voice acting, talking about why they wanted to do it. Very typical, not a whole lot to bat a home run about. Now, pushing the boundaries, that was really cool. Gives you a little bit of insight into the animation, how they did things and stuff like that. That was actually really cool. Learn the panda dance. Again, one of those ones. I don't need to learn the panda dance. Like, I didn't watch that. Learn to draw Poe. Again, I don't necessarily care. It's cool for people that do care, but I don't necessarily care to learn how to draw Poe, so I'm good. Sound design, really cool, because again, I just sung high praises to the heavens about the sound design of this movie, and of course I wanted to see how they did certain things, and it was really cool how they did. They have the Kung Fu Fighting music video by CeeLo Green. It's cool. I mean, you can get that on YouTube. Do You Kung Fu, Mr. Pink's Noodle House, How to Use Chopsticks, Animals of Kung Fu Panda, feature commentary with directors John Stevenson and Mark Osborne. I did not check out the commentary. I did check out the animals. The rest of those, this is a kid's package. It's a kid's movie or more of a family movie, but this package is definitely catered to kids, and that's awesome, right? There's a lot of great behind-the-scenes bonus features. Like, if I was 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 or 10 years old getting a hold of this, I would absolutely eat those bonus features alive. This movie would probably be the greatest thing I ever saw, right? It's really fun. It's really, I wouldn't necessarily say relevant, but it stood the test of time. It's really good. Now, as a package as a whole, I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. This is an absolute must-have in an animation collector's collection, right? If you're a big fan of Kung Fu Panda, absolutely, it's a no-brainer. You probably, stopped after only 20 seconds or so. There's absolutely really no reason to not have this. If you're curious, or maybe you're more of a middle-of-the-ground fan of Kung Fu Panda, you find the movies okay, but you're a fan of great quality and great sound design, absolutely, this might elevate that experience for you to give it another shot, and I definitely recommend it. It does come with that 4K, the Blu-ray, and a digital code as well, as you saw whenever I flipped it over. So that's going to be my thoughts of Kung Fu Panda. It's probably my favorite animation release I've had this year so far, especially by a major studio, but I know that there's been a lot of rumors and stuff for what's coming on later on in the year, so it's been a pretty light year to start off the year, so there's not a lot of competition, but it's definitely got... It's got the throne pretty solidly up there for the best animation of 2024 for physical media releases as of right now. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you picked up Kung Fu Panda. If you have any thoughts about it, let's start some dialogue. Maybe I liked it more. Maybe you thought it was a bad transfer. I hope not. Hopefully our eyes aren't that different. Maybe you didn't like the sound design as much as I did. Maybe it was even better in your experience. Let me know. Drop a comment down below, and stay tuned for some more From Screen to Shelf content. See you later, everybody.